I have some emails flagged for today. We might not get to them at all. I have some other stories with things with clients. We might not get to those. Or we might. I don't know. This is a great day for anything coming up in chat. Any stories that you've had. I've got audio check confirmed. Let's see if SpeakerBot comes alive here in a moment.
I'm working here.
Yep, he's there, or she's there. If Greg Guy is around, I'm very interested in doing another remote session. If you haven't figured out what it was that was causing the problem with Zoom, in regards to those arrow tweaker settings, I'd very much be interested to narrow it down to find which setting was causing the problem. Whether we do that or not, I do want to make the point that I do not think arrow tweaker was at fault. We didn't get into that conversation last week, but I don't think arrow tweaker was at fault at all, even though making settings in arrow tweaker was causing that wait indicator for Greg when he was in Ken Stout's Zoom, or probably anybody's Zoom. Ken saying in chat, it does seem to be fixed. Yeah, but did you figure out which one of those settings was at fault? Because what we did is we reversed all of the arrow tweaker settings. And I think it's probably just one or two settings that was at fault, and we can track down which setting that was, and that would be kind of a fun troubleshooting exercise to do. So let me know in chat if Greg is up for doing that. And few and far between for me to have a Pepsi. But I spent a few hours, 2 or 3 hours, working in the front yard this morning. So I am feeling a need for a little bit of sugar. I'm going to be drinking that from a coffee mug. I prefer drinking Pepsi from coffee mugs. Somehow I just like the taste of it better. And I don't like having tall, like glasses, or even I have a plastic tumbler, it has one of those screw tops and a straw. I don't like those because they're tall, and they can just so easily be knocked over. So here we'll get a ASMR sound effect. I probably got Pepsi in my microphone right there.
Read chat, please. Read chat, please.
David Graham saying, yes, you deserve a Pepsi. Scott says, Papa Top again. Papa Top. Papa who? Which Papa was that? If you have any stories of things that you've encountered this week, I'd love to have them in chat. If you have questions of issues that you're dealing with, that would be great. And I see here, after the show started, I lost some of the earliest chat because at 11:36 p.m. last night from Darren Gilholm was not the earliest. Now over here on Baby Beast, there's an ad playing on Baby Beast. Apparently I'm not signed in on Baby Beast. 6:22 p.m. Scott was first, and then Ken Stout. Let's see, and Robert, Darren Gilholm in there, Arnold Albert, and Isaiah Davis. So thank you all for showing up there. Yeah, whatever these are. Emojis, I suppose. Marsman just finished paying son's taxes, another year down the drain. This old man turns 76 tomorrow, 76, and still no fox. I mean, you haven't found a fox as a girlfriend or wife, or you haven't become a silver fox? Not Fosfix, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to figure that out. John Williams, hello. Tim Cruz. I'm just popping through here. A little bit random, not going to the actual list. Tim Cruz did a like. Thank you. Ken Stout saying it seems to be fixed. David Graham with a hello. 30 years of experience. Love that shirt. My favorite color, Dougie, Dougie, however you pronounce that. John Williams shows 1 week apart is okay too. Okay, I need to come back up to this one. This one I want to get back to, but I'm going to take a quick look at that last read chat, see what that was. I'm looking on OBS to see that. Oh yeah, David Graham. Okay, we'll get to that. Now, David Graham did a read chat, so by all rights, I should go straight to that. But I want to come back to whatever's going on here. I saw the part about trying to get grumpy. And, I'm going to fire up Log Me and Rescue so that Greg wants to come in, he can just go click the link in the description of today's video. It's always the same link to start a remote session. And if we do Zoom, I will join Ken Stout's Zoom because that worked out pretty well last week. Okay, so Greg, I'm talking again. I think I'll go look at all Greg's messages. Okay, so here's David Graham's read chat, please. I had to delete Windows Edge on all 4 of my computers because of a sync bug. Edge would close 1 second after opening. Reinstalling Edge fixed it. Good. Okay, good story. Actually delete Edge. So I guess you mean uninstalled Edge. I think I did that. I think I came across a need to do that recently too, and was surprised that it can't even be uninstalled. A sync bug. So apparently you couldn't just resync. Oh, I need my new system. These scrolling still drives me nuts. There's the YouTube Fox channel, Foxes and Fossils. Maybe that is appropriate. Okay, now on auto scroll. There's a read chat from Rand Israel. It says he encountered the same issue with Zoom that Greg had this week. Yeah, now, so let's get to why I don't think that Arrow Tweaker was at fault. What we did last week to fix the issue for Greg is we went into Arrow Tweaker and turned off or reversed all of the tweaks that he had applied with Arrow Tweaker. Well, Arrow Tweaker is not running in the background. There's no conflict. Zoom didn't have any conflict with Arrow Tweaker. Arrow Tweaker, I'm 98% sure, all it's doing is making Windows settings changes that Microsoft has made available, that you can make those changes at various different places within Windows. It might be in registry settings, or it might be in, appearance and performance settings, or it might be somewhere else.
Please.
and it's one or more of those settings that Zoom has a problem with. So it's actually a conflict between Zoom and the particular settings in Windows that were causing the issue. And he had just used Arrow Tweaker to implement those settings that Zoom has trouble with. Randy Israel says, it started when I upgraded Zoom to latest version, uninstalled and reinstalled the older version, and problem was solved. So if we get a chance to go further with Greg and troubleshoot which of the settings in Arrow Tweaker by eliminating half of them, seeing was the problem in the half that we eliminated, or is it the problem still present in the half of the settings that we have enabled? And then whichever half we determine has the problem, then we go split that in half and just keep narrowing it down to figure out where the problem is. And mathematically, there might be some argument for not doing it in halves, but maybe doing it in thirds. I think that's a thing, not certain. So I'm guessing that Ran Israel may have had a setting, a Windows setting configured that the last update to Zoom has a conflict with. And if we find out what that setting is, then Ran would be able to use the most current Zoom and just turn off that particular setting. Anytime you veer away from the very generic Windows configurations, you have more potential of having symptoms. Because when Microsoft does their updates, they're not going to test against every software product that's out there and every configuration variant that could be out there. That's what they rely upon the insiders to do, and that's what they rely upon the public at large to do. Sometimes when a problem is massive enough, Microsoft might provide the fix, or they might leave it to the vendors of those other products to implement the fix on their side. So when you do, and take something like Arrow Tweaker and make a bunch of customizations, you set yourself up for encountering symptoms, and then you're going to have to troubleshoot it, figure out what it is, and deal with the consequences. Yeah, let's see. Did I get the last read chat? I think I did. I think I did. Woo, woo. Yeah, I did a horrible impression of that little engine that could. I'm not going to do it. No. I'm not going to give you my impression of a little engine that could. Scary. Okay, so that was Ran Israel. Now there is, I think it was Greg M that I want to get back to. Oh, Kerry's here. Is he? Yeah, there he is. Hello, Kerry. Maybe uninstall the Logitech software. And that's another point. Now, I don't know if he's having conversation with somebody else right now, but whatever that setting was that was made in Arrow Tweaker that conflicts with Zoom, it could be that everybody would have the same problem if they go change that same Windows setting, even though they don't have Arrow Tweaker installed. Or it could be that that particular setting in Windows and something else that Greg has running on his computer in combination is what is triggering the symptom. But if we were able to track down which item it is, then other people could go into Zoom and enable that particular Windows setting and see if they can replicate the problem. Just out of curious academic intrigue, because that's something any card-carrying Doug would do. Now, I think it was Greg M that had a few comments in here. So let me go to channel activity for Greg. I think any of you, I think you might be have to be a moderator to be able to go look at all the comments that have been made by any particular individual in today's stream or in prior streams. See, it just goes down in all the prior streams. I think that's only available to moderators, and since so far everybody here is a moderator. Now there was one person that asked for chat room approval that I did do this since last Saturday. So if that person shows up, they will show as a black name rather than blue. Please guide my attention if that person shows up so that I can welcome them. So let's see, I think we start at the bottom. Had a frustrating time with Gemini and laser printer issue with paper feed. Gemini mentioned testing a part which passed using its method and then went on to hallucinate regarding another non-existent part. I feel like I'm starting to gain some awareness of when Gemini or any AI is likely to hallucinate. Excuse me, when it's dealing with a field of knowledge that is not as thoroughly documented on the internet as other fields of knowledge, then it starts looking for similar circumstances in other fields or other areas or other equipment. So as a particular laser printer, he probably told Gemini what the laser printer was. Gemini mentioned testing a part, and when Gemini found that information on the internet, it may or may not have been for the same printer. It might have been a similar sounding issue with another printer, and Gemini is offering that to you as as Gemini does. It'll say, this will absolutely fix your problem. It's like a tier 1 tech support from some other country. I will be a gentleman and not name a specific other country, where they tend to say, this will absolutely fix your problem. Stop it, Doug. Almost going there. Gemini mentioned testing a part which passed. I think that's probably P-A-S-S-E-D is what he's trying to tell us, rather than history type pass. Testing a part which was success, which passed the test using its method. Yeah. And then went on to hallucinate regarding another non-existent part. Yeah, Gemini might have been finding that other part from some other printer because there wasn't enough thoroughly documented content on the internet about the symptom that Greg was having with the specific printer that he was dealing with. Even after I uploaded pictures of the gears in the printer, thing is, Gemini should have had better testing for a prior step, as that was the faulty part. Yeah, any AI, they're going out there on the internet trying to find what they can, and it just may not be documented as deeply as you would like it to be. And that's the environment where I found more hallucinations or made up solutions, where it's taking something from over here and something from over there and putting them together and saying, this is absolutely a solution. I know it is. So often. But then other times, especially with something that is very, very well documented on the internet, Gemini and other AIs, in my estimation, can really come up with
read chat, please.
Helpful solutions. I'll take a look over on OBS to see what that was. Okay, I'll come to that, John Williams, in a little bit here. I'm going to finish the rest of Greg M's first. Thank goodness I found a very detailed video on YouTube that solved the issue, and a $1.25 part ordered off AliExpress. Now you might experiment with providing a link to the YouTube video to Gemini. I think I've done it a couple ways. I think I have copied the transcript from a video into Gemini. And I think I've even done it just with a link. You provide a link. You might be surprised how much content Gemini can pick out of the video. And then the other thing, if you're on the premium of YouTube, you can ask the AI questions about the video and ask it to summarize what is this content, what is the solution this content creator provides, without having to watch the whole video. And you can get to specific parts of the video where the solution actually is. So thank goodness I found a very detailed video on YouTube that solved the issue in a $1.25 part order off AliExpress. When Gemini is just going out to the internet at large, that does not include all video content that's out there. Although a Google search can sometimes take you to a YouTube video. Greg to Jim, I've lost count on how many systems I've remoted into to find that MS Edge has become the default browser. The owner had no idea that was the case. I've had that I have people, what's your default browser? And what do you want your default browser to be? Say, what's a browser? I use the internet. I don't use a browser, I use the internet. I don't try teaching them the term. It's a lost cause. I think I tried that out a while back and forgot I had used it. Wonder why I had clicked on MS Edge. My default browser opened instead. I don't even bother with it anymore. I just open the browser I want to use. The only time a default browser really matters is if you're clicking on a link in an email that's going to come up in your default browser, or if you have a shortcut on your desktop to a web address that's going to open your default browser. If you go to the run command and actually type in a web address, that's going to open your default browser. You can even type in a web address in File Explorer, and it's going to open your default browser. You know what? That used to open. What does it do these days? I think it used to open in File Explorer. Let's go try this. www.LiveWindowsTraining.com and enter. No, that's going to Chrome. I guess that means Google Chrome is my default browser. I didn't know that for sure. I don't care. I click on the Chrome icon when I want Chrome. Does not support a secure connection. Oh, I guess I gotta go fix that. I'm not doing anything with the site, really. That stuff is so old. I do intend to sometime. Now, let's go get that read chat. Control F, exclamation mark C, and then up arrow. John Williams. I did have a unique problem. Oops, that's not what I'm going to do. I did have a unique problem setting up a gigabyte B550 UD AMD motherboard that was not showing the TPM 2.0 module in the BIOS. I had to do several BIOS updates to get it right. All good now. I don't think they call it TPM on AMD motherboards, do they?
Read chat, please.
Is that an old motherboard that its original BIOS didn't have the equivalent to TPM 2.0? Or am I just all wet? I'm not a custom builder. Remember that. Yeah, it's FTPM, says John Williams. David Graham, interesting fact. I asked AI to remember a conversation I had a week prior with it, and it remembered it, recited all the details. If it's in the same chat, then yeah, that's a thing. But there's, in Gemini anyway, there's a limit to how far back it can remember. So I commonly will have chats that run multiple months, and they get so long that I'll go into Gemini and say, give me an exact quote from my oldest prompt in this chat that you have access to. And it will do that. It'll give me the exact quote. And then I use Control F, well, start with Control C to copy that exact quote into the clipboard, and then Control F, then Control V to paste that quote. And that'll take me right to my prompt in that chat. And that way I can tell how far back it has access to. So anything prior than that, it does not have access to. If you have, this just kills me, if you have a personal Google account that you're using Gemini with, as opposed to me using Google for workspaces, workplaces, whatever the heck they call it, you can export all of your chat activity for all of your Gemini to a CSV file, and I think there's another way to do it too. But if you have the workplaces, you're restricted on what you can export, because Google, in all their omniscient, all-knowing power, big brother, over security conscious, assumes that the business environment is more privacy focused and will not let you export, even though I'm this administrator. And Gemini gave me all kinds of ways to change settings, all of which were wrong, hallucinating, because there's not enough good content out there about how to operate Gemini for Gemini to find and give me accurate guidance for how to use Gemini. Infuriating. Jeez. And now, because of that, when I'm working on a conversation that I expect that I'm going to want to deal with again, what I do is, after an amount of sessions in a particular chat, I will ask it to give me a complete accounting of everything that we have discussed in this chat, so that I can save that as a Google Doc and then import it into Notebook LM as a source. So that gives me the capability of having all of that content accessible. Now, Notebook LM functions like Gemini. However, I mean, they are sister products. However, Notebook LM is the dumb sister or brother, cousin. When you go ask questions in Notebook LM, it will seek the answer only among the sources that you have provided to Notebook LM. It does not go out on the internet and use knowledge at large. So then, if you want to combine the two capabilities, what you do is go back to Gemini and drag your source documents that are stored as Google Docs into the Gemini prompt. So now you can ask a question in Gemini and it will use the internet at large and your full content that you have stored from your prior Gemini chats, even if that content was not in the current Gemini chat. The next one, Jeff Ryman. If you type a web address URL in the Windows taskbar search box, it will use Edge. Firefox is my default browser. It will not use it. Yes, I believe I have come across this. Where no matter what your default browser is, if you press the Windows key, we already know my default browser is Chrome. So let's see, did he give any real specifics there? Where'd it go? Oh, there's been more. Yeah. All right, so let's go. Windows key, www.LiveWindowsTraining.com. Enter. I'm expecting it to open in Edge, and yes, it did. Opens into Edge, no matter what your browser is, no matter what your default browser is. Exclamation English. Yeah, right. Sure. Nope. I haven't configured that. Doesn't exist. Not an option. MS Edge redirect on GitHub will likely fix that issue. Oh, somebody's designed something, some code. Now there's again, anytime you drift away from the default settings of Windows, you set yourself up to run into problems down the road, and it may be very difficult to troubleshoot because whatever that is on GitHub, somebody's proprietary, well, their custom code, whatever odd symptoms that might cause down the road, it very likely will not be substantially documented on the internet to resolve that. So anytime you're using something like that, I really want to remember that. Be sure, maybe keep a log of the oddball things that you have applied and undo that in the future if you run into any symptoms at all as a troubleshooting step. Omnipotent? No, that's not the one I was after. Omnipotent is all powerful. I was after all knowing, which is omniscient, I believe. I think I got that right. Yeah, my email address for you to send questions to is DougBetts@LiveWindowsTraining.com. That infers there's a website out there. Not always the case. I also have a DougBetts.com. I think I have something on there. I don't know. The EU, English European, Windows 11, does not have this issue. I'm not sure which issue you're referring to. I'm guessing you're referring to the Windows key and then type in a web address and you're saying it will respect your default browser if it's not Edge. Here's the link for the MS Edge fix. A tool to redirect news, search, widgets, weather, and more to your default browser. Filters and passes the command line arguments of Microsoft Edge processes into your default browser instead of hooking into the Microsoft Edge handler. This should provide resiliency against future changes. Additionally, an image file execution options mode is available to operate similarly on the old Edge deflector. Additional modes are planned for additional versions. Yeah, I think it even works from, which way does it work if you do a URL from a command prompt? I think you can do this. Nope. How about if I do it with the URL?
Read chat, please.
With the HTTPS. HTT. I think do I have to hit the insert key here? Oops. PS : / delete key. Nope, doesn't do that. Or it should be /. And what is it? F2, I think? No, F3.
Read chat, please.
F3 is the rest. It's not doing it. There. I pressed the period to do up to the period. Nope, doesn't do it. People might be telling me how to do that. I'm looking over at OBS to see what those read chats are. Tim says, did you see my comment, Doug? We have an issue. No, I don't see your comment unless you direct my attention to it. So I'll go back and find that. Rand says, in command start URL. All right, so I do up arrow and then home key and then start space. There it is. That does it. And that went to my default browser, not to Edge. Okay, so that was Tim Cruz. Let's go see. Let's see, we have an issue. Maybe is he trying to discreetly guide me to something that I shouldn't be showing on stream? Okay. Apparently, hey Doug, we have a problem with Bobby. New MacBook. If you don't mind connecting, not the Air anymore. It's a way better one. No. I'm going to pass on that. What is it about live Windows training that you don't understand? No, I'll pass. If you want to describe the issue, I might make some comments about what to do. I don't even think, I'm not even sure if I can connect. I have connected remotely to Apple's before, but yeah, no, and I'm not interested. All right, was there anything else that I needed to get back to? In my emails that I have a quiz for recognizing a scam email. And I have a email exchange with Alex Cheek regarding his church's security system. I'm not interested in talking about the security system itself, but what I am interested in talking about is the client psychology that I use, because it's an interesting environment issue of how to go about presenting options to a client And what I consider to be the best techniques, that for me anyway, to get the client to choose a good path and relieve yourself from responsibility if they choose the wrong path, but yet provide them good service and let them keep self-respect so they don't feel that they have been talked down to, and so they'll be happy to continue using your services, even though in Alex Cheat's role there, it's not a paid service, obviously. So I'm interested in talking about that in the client psychology strategies point of view. That's a Pepsi sigh. All right, so I'm about to go to recognizing this scam email. This is a mass distributed scam email. It's not targeting directly at me. But it caused me to scratch my head a little bit as to what they were trying to accomplish. So I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna make some comments and looking for you to put in your own comments of what you think about it. And here we go. So I have the email opened up. Up here on the top shows the subject line. Payment is already through PayPal USD 896.99, customer support team, a phone number, account email verification code. That's the subject line of the email. Really, there's a few things about that are triggers that should cause somebody to highly suspect this. So I'll give you a chance to point out the things in there that you, just in the subject line alone, what you think of that. And then here's the email address that it comes from. MS Online Services Team at MicrosoftOnline.com. Is that a legitimate Microsoft address to come from? Now, Gmail accounts does a very good job of recognizing scam emails. This one was not recognized as a scam email. I'm going to take that off camera for a moment and see. Yeah, nothing else exposed here. So I just click on this drop down right here. This was sent to my Doug@DougBetts.com. When an email gets sent to DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com, I have put in a rule, what does Gmail call it? I'll just call it a filter. I think it calls it a filter. That anything sent to DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com gets forwarded to my inbox. So Gmail will give me a warning about it, a text-based warning about the email. It says, this was sent to you because you did a filter. You said you want all of them. So here you go. But warning, Will Robinson, danger. This one, no, it came through because it's Doug@DougBetts.com. Gmail finds this email to be completely legitimate. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Here's the subject line. Mailed by MicrosoftOnline.com. Signed by MicrosoftOnline.com. That all makes it look like a legitimate email. I'm looking over on OBS chat to see if you said anything about it. So far, I'm thinking you're not getting into this. Okay, then over here, a security code. So it's a two-factor authentication code. And I thought, wait a minute. It sent the email to Doug@DougBetts.com. Was somebody trying to sign in to my Google account? Because when you sign in to a Google account or a Microsoft account, it's not going to send the code to you until you get the password right. And this is the variation I have not seen before. This, because Microsoft is legitimately sending a two-factor code, that means somebody successfully typed the password for my account.
Read chat, please.
David Graham says, wow, it looks like someone is trying to hack you. That's what I was thinking. More than trying to hack me, it's like they succeeded at the password level. At one point, I was thinking that. Let's see if somebody guides and sees something else here. Says, no, not really. Greg M says, I use time-based codes rather than email for two-factor authentication. That's a good strategy. In order for that to really secure your account, you have to disable password. Because if you're using time-based codes in order to sign in, do you still have two-factor authentication turned on? Because I'm not totally certain about them, but I think there's some environments where you might be using a time-based code to sign in instead of using a password. But if your account is still enabled for passwords without having two-factor authentication turned on, then somebody could hack your password and still get into your account. The fact that you use time-based codes to sign into the account does not necessarily mean that you have protected your account from being compromised by virtue of a password that still will allow somebody to sign in. So if you're using the time-based codes thinking that it makes you more secure, you got to consider the account that you're dealing with, and is password access still enabled? And if yes, does that have two-factor authentication turned on? And if it is, it could be by sending a code to your email or a code to your text message or using a time-based code. Sending a code to your email is not a great choice
chat,
because
please.
if your email is already compromised, then the bad guys are getting that code. David Graham says, wait, what's that PayPal bit in there? This could be phishing. PayPal bit up here. Payment. Accents on the word pay, right? Or is the accent on meant? Or is this a contracted word? Payment is already through PayPal.
Read
So
chat,
payment's
please.
already been made for $896. Why is that included here? Payment. David's telling me how to pronounce it. I know they meant the word payment. Customer support team, account email verification code. That's just weird, right? Now, the part about the two-factor authentication, I don't see anybody that has. Oh, there it is, Ran Israel. The MS account address looks like it's hosted on Azure. Are you using Azure? I think he's referring to this up here. I am not using Azure, but this is where the cleverness comes in on this one. This is the piece I have not seen done before. And I use Gemini to help decipher what's going on here. The code was not being sent as a two-factor authentication for Doug at DougBetts.com. The code was sent to verify an email at this email address, Damari Litchfield at Pompey Kalyani 112 LLC, on Microsoft.com. On Microsoft.com is a very common domain name. I use it a lot with my clients. Anytime somebody is setting up a custom domain name where you have a custom domain name that you already own, this one would be, the custom domain name would be Pompey Kalyani 112 LLC dot. Actually, it might be 112.llc. Is LLC a top-level domain? Is LLC a TLD? Top-level domain. Should I buy a .llc? Yes, .llc, because that's the way these on Microsoft.com addresses work. Is the last three characters, maybe more if it's a .info, whatever the last characters are that are recognizable as a TLD, top-level domain, that's what this domain name would be, Pompey Kalyani 112.llc. So the scammer in bulk produces these domain names, and in this case, the administrator is using the name Damari Litchfield at, they're using this email address, and they put in a backup email address, Doug at
Read
DougBetts.com.
chat, please.
They can add somebody an email as a backup email address without proving ownership for that email address. That's why the code got sent to my email address. That's pretty significant. That's pretty clever. Randy Israel says, in this case, it's a subdomain name under Microsoft on Microsoft.com, often associated with free accounts. Well, I don't know that is. Let's see. Yeah, it could be done for free. Well, I think my experience with getting on Microsoft.com has always been when I'm configuring a custom domain name to be hosted by Microsoft. And the custom domain name would be configured as exactly as I described there. And yes, that's right, because it doesn't have to be that you're doing a custom domain. But I've never had desire to do a subdomain. I don't know why anybody would. And then this part here, sincerely. What usually happens after the word sincerely in an email? What do you expect there? You don't expect to see the subject line of the email after the word sincerely. What they did here is when they
Read chat,
configured,
please.
Rand says autograph. Yeah. When they got to the fields for putting in a first name and a last name, they put in some number of this text here as the first name. You know, we can't tell how far the first name goes. Maybe that much is the first name. Maybe this much is the last name. So they put that in as the first name and last name. And is it exactly the same as the subject line? is already through PayPal USD 896 customer support team. Yeah, it's a copy and paste, except that it doesn't have account email verification code. It just the last name ends at the number 5. What are they trying to do? Not a phishing email. A phishing email is where they want you to click on something and put in your credentials. And it'll take you to a screen where it's going to ask your username and password, or it's going to ask you some other information to try to fish for information from you. But all that's going to happen here is your email. Whatever your email is, it's going to start that. I can click on that. I know that I can safely click on that. The way I know that I can safely click on that is if you look in the bottom left corner. I can't move my orange dot down to the bottom left corner. I guess I should point over that way. In the bottom left corner, when I have my mouse floated over this email address, you see mail to : so that tells us it's going to create an email to this person. Jim says, just check my spam filter online. Got a BTC purchase notice from the same email address. Meaning this one that I have here, ! Y, if that's what you mean, Jim. You have an email that uses this same email address? Is that what you mean? A BTC purchase notice. I don't know what BTC is. No, that's not what he meant. I'm not sure what he mean then. I just checked my spam filter online. Got a BTC purchase notice. BTC. MS Online account. I don't know how BTC purchases MS Online from the same email address. So I don't know what email address you're referring to. What they're actually trying to do is get me to call the phone number. That's the only thing in this email that's their mission. The only thing they're trying to accomplish is get me to call the phone number because I want to cancel that $896 PayPal payment. And then what's going to happen when I call that phone number? It depends upon which scammer picks up the call and what script they're working from. This particular scam campaign could have been hired by a scammer that runs a tech support scan or a virus infection scan or more likely a refund scam. That's more than likely what you would wind up getting into as a refund scam.
Read chat, please.
And then all this down here looks legit because this is an email that was legitimately sent from Microsoft. MS Online Service Team at Microsoft Online. That's the email address. Oh, this one up here. This is the, yeah, okay. So it's in his spam folder, he said. Yeah, spam filter. Yeah, so his email service, whether it's Gmail or something else, recognized the email as spam. In this case,
read chat, please.
Gmail did not recognize that as spam or scam. I call this a scam rather than spam. Spam is advertisements in my mind. Greg Ann was the last read chat. He says, system notification abuse, how attackers force Microsoft to send phishing emails. Again, I don't classify this as a phishing email, but it's not a legitimate email. I call this a scam email. There's another, I want to get to that link that Greg provided in a moment, but another piece I want to show you here first. So when I go to this 3-dot menu and then choose show original, I don't think anything of concern shows up when I go to that. Yeah, here's what comes up. Original message is there's the message ID, the created date, it's who it's from, who it's to, the subject line, SPF passed, DKIM passed, DMARC passed. Because those 3 pass, Gmail's likely going to find it as an okay message, but it still might flag something else. Now I'm checking into more detail. Yeah, all of this in here is more of the actual hard-coded content of the email. This area here is summarized up here. So nothing in here flags it as not a legitimate email. So the things to be teaching people is this using an apostrophe in the middle of a word. No good. PayPal and apostrophe before the P, no good. There's a sense of urgency here already, and grammar problems up the wazoo. I'm sorry for using the technical terms on you. Payment is already through PayPal. A dollar amount involved, customer support team, a phone number they want you to call, stuff that just does not make sense. Yes, subject line being repeated as the name. Those are all red flags. Do not call the phone number. No. Okay, Greg M. System notification abuse. How attackers force Microsoft to send phishing emails. This is from abnormal.ai blog, system notifications. Is this your abnormal.ai? See how much is in here. I saw the word tenant in here. That would be exactly what this is involved with. Attackers love exploiting legitimate platforms. Yeah, that's what this is. Newly uncovered campaign. Microsoft Intra, formerly Azure Tenant. Yeah, that sounds like this. Scam messages, calling it a scam. Not phishing. This system notification abuse attack creates a phishing flow, technically authentic at every step. There is nothing to click on in there that's going to ask for my credentials. That's what I want to call phishing. Unlike traditional spoofing attacks that impersonate Microsoft, this campaign forces Microsoft legitimate infrastructure to send phishing emails on the threat actor's behalf. Yeah. To understand the scale of this threat, except that I don't think it's phishing, we analyzed 2,000 unique messages across over 250 abused 365 tenants. The data revealed highly organized burn and churn operation where attackers script the creation of disposable tenants to launch attacks using specific evasion techniques. The subject line hijack, injecting 60+ characters of scam text into the tenant name field to force legitimate system text off the screen. Obfuscation. Using algonac substitutions, replacing A with Polish Q and homoglyphs to defeat optical character recognition and keyword blockers. Well, the only thing they did there that might be along that would be the apostrophe. If they're trying to prevent the systems from recognizing the word payment or recognizing the word PayPal, that would be a reason for using the apostrophe. Regex evasion, formatting phone numbers by replacing digits with letters. Did they do any of that? Not that I can recognize. That looks like phone number. To prove that that's a phone number, I did a copy. Could those zeros be O's? Huh, why do I have that? Now, if I highlight all of that and change it to lowercase, where is that at? Home, paragraph, font, right up here. Change it all to lowercase. So if those zeros are actually uppercase O's, then this is going to make it obvious because it's going to change it to a lowercase o. So no, those are completely legitimate phone numbers. The attack begins with the bad actor spinning up a disposable Microsoft 365 tenant. Yeah, that's what they did here. Unlike compromised legitimate accounts, they are purpose-built malicious instances of free trials registered on subdomain names. Free trial, not so much a free subdomain, but a free trial. That makes more sense. I don't know that you can keep it for free. Manipulating tenant branding to inject the payload. The core exploit lies in the tenant branding configuration with the Microsoft Entra ID. The attacker navigates to the tenant properties, modifies the name field to contain a fraudulent financial alert message. That's exactly what they did here. Control plus. Can you see first name, last name? Yeah, name.
Read
right
chat,
there for
please.
name. Your Bitcoin purchase, USD 488, completed through PayPal. Reach support desk with a phone number to cancel or renew. That's showing exactly what they did with the names. That last read chat. Call them, ask why they sent this email to the BBB. Yeah. If I call them from my phone number, that puts my phone number on a list as somebody who dialed the number. Regardless of what I say, it's going to put my number on a list. No, thank you. The only way I would do that is if I was using, some kind of a temporary Skype phone number, and I'm not interested in scam baiting. That stuff gets so old so quick. I'd be totally bored.
Read chat, please.
Doing scam baiting. Yeah, David says, don't call. That's what they want. Yeah.
Read chat, please.
No matter how I behave. If payphone booths were more available today, I would make a collect call to that number from one of those. They'll deny the charges. They're not willing to pay 25 cents. What, Doug? You think a phone call costs 25 cents? The attacker modifies the tenant name. Yeah, in this specific attack, they change the tenant name to your Bitcoin purchase, forcing Microsoft to deliver the payload. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So this one would be a subdomain that is not trying to be a custom domain, because I don't think there is a top level domain called 316. All right, enough of that. Oh. Huh. I have... do I drink all of this watered down Pepsi before I pour myself some more? I don't have ice. I'm going to go get some more ice. Because I have a button that lets me do that.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Almost made it back in time. All right, here you go. ASMR. See, I get 3 pours
Read
out of
chat,
a can.
please.
So it feels like I'm drinking more by drinking out of a cup. That last read chat from David Graham. Let's get to it here. It says, I get emails like that and other same types all the time. I just delete them. Yeah, I sometimes save them to
Read chat, please.
use them as content. Is this continuing from last week? Not sure what you mean by that. Greg has not raised his hand to connect remotely and let us try to figure out exactly what setting was causing that wait symbol when he was in Zoom last week. So we're not continuing that. I didn't talk about this scam last week, so I think that's probably a no. Okay, client psychology. Doug 01. Client psychology 101.
Read chat, please.
Doug 01? Scott says he was here earlier. Yeah, but he didn't he didn't let me know that we could connect. If you're here, Greg, and you're willing to... Oh, there he is. There he is. He just came in on Log Me and Rescue. Great. Awesome. Okay, so my correct procedure is to take that off screen when I actually connect. I'm going to click a button that says restart as systems, restart as system service right here. And that should put a prompt on his screen to allow that, because that allows us to see, you know, things like user account control prompt. And then launch remote control session. And that probably gives them a prompt to respond to. I don't know. Is this? Yeah, yeah, it is, because I can see he has Zoom open. So now I'm going to go join Ken Stout's Zoom. so that we can talk. Oh, good. I was really hoping to get a chance to troubleshoot this down. Don't I have an icon somewhere for this? All right, launching Zoom Workplace. You are up to date. I just paid my annual subscription for Zoom. I still have the subscription because mainly what I use it for these days is my brother's on Friday evenings. We do a 2-hour Zoom. You have to have the paid version to have it that long. When they changed the layout, I never really learned the new layout very well. So, oh, now it's over on this screen. Ah, there it is. All right, now what do I need to get lined up? Over here, get my buttons ready. I'll turn off that one, and then here, I got to put in a meeting passcode. I didn't copy that uniquely. I really need to put me a shortcut. No, boy, I got a feeling I'm not doing this right. Oh, I did. Amazing. Didn't get what? All right, so then I've got to turn system audio on, and I have a button for that here. So,
Right. So then
now
I've got to turn system audio on, and I have a button for that here. Right. So then now I've got to turn system audio on, and
okay, so I turned system audio off because I'm hearing myself on YouTube over Ken's Zoom. Ah, it's Greg's. We need, I'm going to, I'm gonna mute the audio on YouTube for Greg. It lets you know he's alive and well. All right, I have muted the audio for my live stream on Greg's computer. And now I'll turn system audio back on so YouTube can hear us all.
Got to figure out how he does that.
Oh, it's a button. It's a button on my Stream
I
Deck.
love messing with Doug.
What?
Nothing. Not a thing. Continue. You're doing a great job.
Now,
That should give me some
let's
points.
see. We've got 3 columns and 3 rows. So if I press my 3-column, 3-row button and then bring Zoom on screen, yeah, it fits pretty close. Well, let's try my Windows Mover button that moves everything into their correct positions. And then back to Zoom. That's pretty close. Oh, you know what? I know why. Because I haven't used 3x3 for so long. There. Yeah, that works. All right. So, Greg, have you left the arrow tweaker thing off since last time? Okay, you haven't re-implemented it. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-implement half of the things because we exported all of your arrow tweaker settings, and so we can get them back. I'm going to minimize your Zoom, minimize your YouTube, and then minimize the log me and rescue chat. Drag your minimized Zoom down to the bottom right to where you can still see it, but it will be under my picture in picture. Then bring Baby Beast up on screen and turn on picture in picture. So that hides your little Zoom in the bottom right corner. All right, so now we want to go back to your arrow tweaker. I'm going to click on any icon on your desktop, and let's see, I want to move my mouse and keyboard over here so that I can look forward and open this up big, and then I just type the letter A, and that should move the highlighter to the first icon with an A, and we should have arrow tweaker on here somewhere, I expect. Is it? No, it's not. Win arrow. Ah. Okay. So we'll go into Win Arrow Tweaker and then import the configuration file. And I don't even need to find it on your desktop, because when we go into import it, I think it will open up just the exported file. So double clicking did not work for me. I think I did it with the wrong mouse. I'm going to press enter to open it. We're not going to download the new one. And then we'll go over to File, Import Tweaks. Import tweaks from a file. Next. Choose the file where you saved your changes. Click Browse. Yeah. We'll scroll all the way up. Click on Desktop. And then here's the only file that shows up in the desktop is the one that we exported, because it has an extension that Win Arrow Tweaker recognizes. So this is going to re-implement all of the tweaks, and we should see the symptom come back right away. Or I don't know if it caused, I doubt that it needs a reboot. Choose the file which you saved. Okay, we got that. Click Next. And then there's all the tweaks that are contained in that file. We'll click Finish, and then go check to see that the symptom is back. Let's see, I did click Finish, right? Uncheck tweaks you do not want. I'm going to try the Finish button again. Not responding, we have. The top of that window. Let's wait. Disabled what? No, Win Arrow Tweaker isn't a enable disable program. It's not an auto launch program, is it? I think we determined that it doesn't run all the time in the background. See, here's your Win Arrow Tweaker start menu. Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I don't believe Win Arrow Tweaker is an auto start program. No, it's not in this list. So it wasn't an issue of disabling Win Arrow Tweaker. What I did is I disabled all the settings that had all the customizations
Read chat,
that had been
please.
done in Win Arrow Tweaker. So now by importing all of those, I should be re-implementing those tweaks. I'm going to go take a look on my other screen to see what that last read chat is, because somebody might be telling me what I'm doing wrong. Randy Israel says it's not. Yeah, it's not what? It's not an auto launch program, I think is what he's meaning, because that would be in agreement with what I was saying. But right now we have, right. So there's nothing to disable. What we did, we reversed all of the tweaks that had been applied by WinArrowTweaker. And try Alt-Tab and see if there's anything hiding, like a user account control. Well, it's no, because it's launched. WinArrowTweaker is launched. It's up and running. And I'm going to try closing that window. The application is not responding. Do you want to end this process? I'm going to cancel that ending and see if that was enough to wake it up. Wake up, you lazy good for nothing program. Yeah, I'll do end process. Hello, Chris Garrett. So this is, I'm going to try W a few more times and see if there's another one. This is the only other W program. Oh, it's a, oh, that's the exported tweaks file. Okay. So the program was just, we just did an end task for it. I'm going to launch it again. Choose a file. It's remembered the desktop folder, so I didn't have to navigate to the folder again. Oh, here's an INI file. If there were other INI files on your desktop, even if they weren't for WinArrowTweaks, they probably would show up as selectable. So this should give us a list of tweaks. Is there a deselect all? No. What I'm looking for now is to see if I can, how I can draw a box around them. Can I reduce this down to just applying some tweaks and see if it will work? I guess I have to do them all individually. My intention was to enable them all and see the symptom come back. So here I've unselected everything down to wallpaper. They are not in alphabetical order. So I'm essentially going to just re-implement about half of them. I'm not going to bother counting. Okay. So let's re-implement this, many of them from wallpaper down. Now, next time I come into here, I'm counting on them being shown in the same order. If they display in a different order, then I'm going to be in trouble. So wallpaper and down is active. I clicked on the finish button. It could be that I clicked on the finish button a second time too soon without waiting. We don't have any indication that it's working on it, but it might be. Oh, I clicked on the title bar and I got a not responding. All right, I'm gonna cancel that. This time I'll go back and just try to activate one of them. If we can't get it to reactivate those things, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this at all. Let's see how long it's been since the last restart. Performance, CPU, 4 hours. And import again. Oh, it is showing desktop. All right, so I'm going to remove all the check marks except the very last one. Oh, we have a maximize button. Yeah, oh yeah. That way we can see them all in one screen. Wait, SFC? No, I don't want it. What does that one do? Context. Oh, context menu to desktop. Okay, so you could right click on the desktop and have a menu option for system file checker. Yeah, that's okay. We'll use that as the test guinea pig. Can we enable just a single tweak by importing? Tweaks imported. Yes, that worked. Okay, then Windows key D, which minimizes everything on the desktop. Right click on the desktop and we expect to see system file checker here. Oh. I don't see it there, but then this isn't the native Windows menu. Or do we have to restart for that to take effect or re-log in for that to take effect? So we've only enabled one item. I'm going to go open up or restore Zoom. And in order to do that, I got to look over to the other computer and maximize, well, not maximize, but open it up. Oh, we got to do gallery. Gallery in the upper right. Could you go ahead and switch this back to gallery mode, Greg? All right, thank you. All right, so then yeah, we do not have the hourglass. Okay. Back to WinArrowTweaker and bring in some more. Import. Import. Next. Browse. Scroll down. Select the file. Open. Next. I'm not going to try to do half because I've already done that and it failed. Now what this says about System File Checker, add the SFC Scan Now context menu to the desktop. See, that's what context menu. That's why I was expecting right click on the desktop, because that's how you would get a context menu to repair corrupted system files. Maybe. Okay, so here we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. Now, last time when I did just the system file checker, it came up pretty quickly with a confirmation message. And it's not doing that now. And I think if I click on the title bar of this window, it's going to switch to not responding. Yeah. Let's see, click the X in the upper right corner, works for ending the process. Checking again, right click on the desktop and show more options. Ah, yes. Okay, so that's what that tweak did, was added that right there. Launch WinArrowTweaker again. We know that we don't have to restart the computer in order to have a clean run of WinArrowTweaker because we were successful with one. Rand says to try to skip the Bluetooth tweak. Yeah, those 6 tweaks at the bottom, in theory now, is that one of those is causing the problem with getting to work, getting the import to work. And Ran Israel is suspicious of the Bluetooth tweak. This one he's suspicious of. Window borders, window title bars, those sound pretty innocuous. Bluetooth sounds more significant. So here we're doing 3 items. Click now. There we go. That was good. Click OK. Then I'm going to go right back in. I don't need to go check on whether those actually worked. I don't care. I'm not checking right now to see if the symptom is back or not, because I want to get a larger group of tweaks back in play. So we're going to skip Bluetooth. And then
Read chat, please.
unselect a bunch of these. So now we're unselecting about half of them and Bluetooth. See if that'll work. And then let's also consider there's others in here. Yeah. Rand says skip Copilot. Okay. Is there anything else among these that seems substantial? Disable Windows Ink Workspace. Power throttling. That's disable power throttling feature in Windows 10. That's a suspect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try those. So we're just skipping Copilot and Bluetooth. And I think that's a fail. There's a not responding. So I'm tempted to only skip the ones that seem like they are more significant system level adjustments. My theory is if we're able to track down a single item that is causing the problem, that anybody might be able to enable that item using registry editor or some system menu option somewhere to replicate the symptom. Command prompt is administrator, so that would be adding it. Context menu is fine. Disabling UAC, that sounds like
Read
a pretty
chat, please.
severe, pretty significant thing. Rand's giving me a list of things. So skip Bluetooth, skip Copilot, skip power throttling, skip telemetry. There's telemetry. Oh, there it is. All right, I haven't specifically considered the other things. I'm just going to take Rand Israel's list because that's in the chat window, and that's how I'm going to. That's how I have those flagged. So clicking finish. It does not look good. So what else is selected right now we want to get rid of? Ken Stout says I should skip golf. Let's see, I can't select things now. Yeah, not responding. Forgot my last pour of Pepsi.
Read chat, please.
Ken says not skipping, thinking of going. Well, I thought you're telling me, Ken, to skip golf on the list of arrow tweaks. And Israel says, siren, see you later. All right, I guess he's got something going on. Okay, taking his same list, and then we'll do some more things. Yeah, no, it's not on the list, Ken. Just trying to give you a hard time. Copilot, power throttling. People are wondering, why isn't Ken responding to Doug verbally? Well, his microphone is muted. Power throttling and telemetry. So was that 1, 2, 3, 4? Was that Rand's 1, 2, 3, 4? Where he is? Okay, we gotta get, oh, UAC. Did I not skip UAC last time? I intended to. Navigation pane. It's not giving me the pop-up on it. There. Hide or restore items which are visible by default in the navigation pane. Shortcut arrow. That doesn't seem significant. Right? Scroll bar width and appearance. That one I'm suspicious of for causing the zoom issue. Disable arrow shake. And that one also I'm suspicious of for causing the symptom. Run as administrator context menu. Slow down animations. That one I'm also suspicious of. Let's take off these ones that I'm suspicious of as being the zoom problem. Ads, unwanted apps. Yeah, let's take that off. Improve the quality. Take that off. Speed up or slow down menus. All right, I'm going to take a picture. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 items selected. Finish. Yeah, I see you, Chris. Still something problematic. All right. All right, I'm looking at the picture on my phone. Just going to remove the same check marks that I did last time, and then contemplate what else there is suspicious. Let's see, that's power throttling. The next one to unmove is wallpaper quality. And the next two above that. Then disable arrow shake and the one above that. Disable telemetry, UAC. Okay, so that's what I did last time around. Bookmarks. Command prompt as administrator is just a context menu. Navigation pane. No, that's giving me the bubble for the wrong one. Take that one off. Customize, remove shortcut overlay. Take that one off. Context menu, we can keep that.
Read chat, please.
New apps notification feature. Marsman saying, how about one at a time? Well, every time I come back here and do check marks again, it takes a long time to do. So I think doing them one at a time is going to take longer. Because right now, at this point, if we still have a problem with it even importing the tweaks, then it could have taken a lot longer to get to this point. Change the color inactive title bars. All right. Yeah, I'm at a point just saying the program just does not handle importing well at all. This is crazy. I did successfully import the bottom three. In one import. There's a possibility that I'm not waiting long enough. So those bottom three, I've already been successful at importing. So I'm going to demonstrate that again. Yes. I wish it would just view. So this one, select visible tweaks. Nah, this looks like it's selecting which tweaks are going to be visible on this left-hand menu. Oh, all right. Yeah, but this doesn't show us what's currently active, does it? Oh, these are all today down to here. So when we ended task, that doesn't necessarily mean that all those things we had selected failed to import. It just means that we didn't get the message indicating that those things had been imported. It may have stuck at one point and then we ended task. So this is indicating that all these things did re-enable today and theoretically are still enabled. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So let's go see if we have the symptom back. Just move the mouse off. Oh, in order to see the symptom? All right. All right, well, I'll click leave and you go ahead and do the rest and get back in. I took Greg's computer off screen while he's coming back in, just in case that shows codes. Okay. So if we go to navigation is where it was, recent changes. Why would that be on navigation? Doesn't seem right. Okay, so looking at the bot from my photo, the one on the bottom of the list was system file checker, then Windows title bars, are they named different here? Let's see, can I make that wider? Yeah. Second one from the bottom was called Windows title bars. Do you see that there, Greg? And window borders. Window borders is there. So window title bars we had selected and it indicated that it successfully imported that. But we don't see it on this list. Okay, the next one from the bottom was Bluetooth. Bluetooth is not on the list. Menu show delay. Not there. Inactive title bars. Not there. Disable Copilot. No. New apps notification. It's there. So new apps notification we were successful with. Theoretically, all these things that are showing on this list, we are successful at re-enabling, although we didn't get a completion dialog box. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. Sound for print screen is there. Print throttling is there. Disable Windows Ink. Okay, wallpaper, adds an unwanted. All right, so the things that we're interested are in trying singly are the things that are not on this list. All right, that gives me something. I'm gonna take a picture of this list and then choose individual items that are not on this list one at a time, because there's not all that many remaining. All right. And take all of them off. By removing these check marks, that does not disable any tweaks that are already enabled. This is just saying we're not importing them on this round. All right, so bookmarks. I'm looking at the list on my phone. Bookmarks has not already been imported. So if I try to import just that one, what does that do? It just says bookmarks. Successful. Oh, wait a minute. Bookmarks discovered 1, imported 0, already exists 1, failed to import 0. I guess that's all right. And I wish there was a way to unselect all of those. Trying some various booster keys. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, no, none of that. Okay, so next, command prompt as administrator was on the list. Yeah, I'm just going to take them all off, then go back and pick which one we're going to try this time. All right, so bookmarks we were successful with. Command prompt as administrator is already imported. Disable UAC. It's not on the list. Oh, yes, it is. That has been imported successfully. Navigation pane default items was successful already. Disable telemetry was successful already. Shortcut arrow was successful already. Scroll bars was successful. Disable arrow shake was successful. Run as admin was not successfully imported previously. So we're going to try that one. Yes, worked. So then we're going to start with run as admin and go down to the next. item, looking for the next one that has not yet already imported. Oops. Greg, can you turn down the volume of the other thing you have playing, please? All right, thank you. All right, then the last one we did was run as administrator. The next one, slow down animations. All right. Yeah, we're in overtime. What was your first clue? Slow down animations already successfully imported. Adds and unwanted apps. Already successful. Wallpaper quality, already successful. Disable Windows Ink, already successful. Power throttling, already successful. Sound for print screen, already successful. New apps notification, already successful. Disable Copilot. Disable Copilot. Not already successful. Now, before we try that one, and check to see if the symptom is back. Oh, you'll have to come back into Zoom, Greg. Go ahead. Oh, didn't you have to leave Zoom and come back in to test that? Yeah. Yeah, because as from what I understand, what he's saying is that the symptom doesn't necessarily appear until he comes back in. Well, that's accomplishing the same thing, having to come back into Zoom. If he shuts his computer down, he can't stay in Zoom if he shuts his computer down and restarts it. All right. Okay. So all those unchecking that I did, I lost. Well, now wait a minute. I lost those. Why did I lose those? You didn't close WinArrowTweaker. Oh, we have WinArrowTweaker open twice. But here's WinArrowTweaker with, oh, no. Is it open twice? maximize. Was it Copilot that I next identified? I'm not sure. Yeah, because the recent changes should show the last thing that we activated, right? I'm thinking, no, it won't let me select that menu option because we already have a menu open. I'll just, I'll back up the video on another screen here and see. Because I actually put a check mark on the one that I was proposing to do next. All right, here I'm playing back the video. And I think I put a check mark on the one that I was proposing to do next. Did I not? Oh, it's back further. There. Disable Copilot was the one I was proposing to do next. So I put a check mark on it. That's why you were thinking that we already did it. But no, I didn't actually complete it. That's what I was proposing to do next. And then I wanted to go see if the symptom was back first. Okay. So, make a note. Disable Copilot. We're not going to test that one yet. Because to test it, you have to exit and re-enter. So let's at least get one more. So we can be testing 2 at a time. Okay, so after Copilot, I'll look to see what else has not already been imported. Inactive title bars color. Inactive title bars color has not already been imported. So this time is testing Copilot and inactive title bars. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see what others are potentials. Menu show delay. Has not already been imported. Bluetooth. Has not been imported. Window borders has. Window title bars has, I'm sure. Ooh. Window title bars. Checking again. Oh, that is not on the list of things that we have activated, but yet we've had a few times where we had that selected and it seemed to work. SFC has. All right, so this is inactive title bars cover. Lockup. Okay, can you go ahead and exit Zoom and come back in, Greg? Ken, you look tired. That's a 4x3. Okay, let's come back to Greg's computer. Minimize Zoom. Oh, wait a minute. Don't want to minimize it yet. Got to see if the symptom is there. Symptoms not. All right. It always, when you have the symptom, it comes back right away, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Mostly we're doing this because I want to know which setting is causing this. And I think anybody else, if they manually set the same setting, they'll experience the same problem. Let's see. Get back here. And the process of troubleshooting this has been far more kludgy than I imagined it would be. Because there's no way to unselect all these check marks. And every time I apply one of these settings, it takes me back out of this import screen. All right. All right. Disable Copilot. So that one, disable Copilot, we were successful with. Inactive title bars causes a lockup. And then menu show delay has not been successfully imported before. Get a note of that, and that's the only one selected. Finish. And that imported. That takes me out of this window. Let's go. Just checking to see that the symptom's not back, but a real test of that requires Greg to exit and re-enter Zoom, we think. Yeah, but we haven't tested what happens if we enable that specific feature while Zoom is open. Does it immediately show the symptoms? Possible. I'm just trying to save a little time. Okay, menu show delay is last one we did. Bluetooth is highly suspect to lock it up, and that has not successfully imported before. All right. And what this actually does regarding Bluetooth, does it even tell us? There, add the Bluetooth context menu. So context menu seems pretty simple. And that's possible, which complicates this troubleshooting even more. Okay, so that successfully came in. Last one we did with Bluetooth. Okay, Windows borders was already imported. Window title bars. That's one that I thought was already imported successfully, but it's not on the list. System file checker is successfully imported. So this is the last one. And okay, so here it claims to successfully import from this file to the exported, bookmarks discovered, 0, imported 0, already exists 0, failed to import, tweaks imported 1. So this is claiming title bars just successfully imported. We go to navigation, recent changes. That was Windows borders, and it is on the list.
Read chat please.
Yeah, Oystein, why did it say 0 imported? That was, I think, on the bookmarks, wasn't it? At the very top, it said 1 imported. So now, are they all back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I didn't think 18 sounded right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that would indicate some of these items that claimed to be successfully imported are not displaying on that list of recent things that have been enabled. All right. Greg, can you exit Zoom and come back in? No, I see. Ken has me highlighted. Did that weird picture-in-picture thing. Here we're back. All right. All right, can you restart your computer and come back in? Right. All right. All right. Let's see, that's 3 by 3. I think we're going to be hanging this up by then, because this troubleshooting is not working reasonable at all. And it wouldn't be unheard of for Greg to never have the symptom again, even with everything re-enabled. Although there's that 4 or 5 items that did not get re-enabled. So it could be that WinArrowTweaker now knows to not allow the problematic things to be enabled. So it's ignoring the request to enable those. And therefore he wouldn't ever have the problem again. Unlikely, but possible. All right. I've got to click remote. Again, I'm not going to bother fixing that Zoom picture. Make that full screen. Minimize Zoom. Projector view. Oh, what am I thinking? Oh, point here is testing Zoom. Moving the mouse off to the right side of Zoom, just ignore the mirroring effect. Those of you on YouTube, there still is no hourglass effect. So I don't think Greg heard my last comments there. Let's see. Greg, can you hear me? All right. So my current suspicion is that the problem might never come back again. And my thinking, my reasoning for that is that those last 4 or 5 items that did not show up in your recently enabled items list, but they were on our export list, it could be that this most recent version of WinArrow that you have now knows not to enable those items because they are problematic. And that might be why it did not enable them. There was also the ones that locked the computer up. I think some of those actually did enable, although they locked the program up. They didn't lock the computer up. But they did not all enable. So it could be those ones that refused to re-enable that were actually the source of the trouble. And it could be that somehow between Windows and WinArrow, they either know not to enable them, or just trying to enable them causes a lockup and the symptom. Yeah, so we can see them on the export list, but if you actually go into the menu system and manually try to re-enable them, you'll find that they're not even there. Yeah, and that's their way of, I suppose, covering the problem or fixing the problem. And Greg has just had it WinArrow Tweaker for so long that those items that were enabled are just kind of grandfathered in on his computer. All right, I think that's as far as I care to ever go down this road. I was hoping to find a specific item that we could manually enable for other people and discover the symptom, but it's quite possible that there is no way to enable that setting because Windows has already prevented that option from being there. There's a few theories, I think, about how this happened, and time to let it go. Yeah, be interesting. At least this got back some of the stuff that apparently you liked or did at some point. All right, gentlemen, thank you for humoring me and letting me try it. All right, I'm gonna pop out of Zoom. We're done, and I'm gonna shut the show down. Have a good weekend. Yep. All right, bye from Zoom, and then push that button. Come back to here. Here's the email address if you want to send a question or a topic or a story that something you've been working on or solved or having trouble with. Yeah, let's see. I got to go in the remote session over there. And have a great weekend, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Today is a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe.